of you. Okay. Hello, YouTube live stream as well. We suddenly went live on a stage in our Discord. So yeah. Let's see here. Zach, you're free to move up. You don't even have to ask. You're good. Okay. Yes, SolidWorks for makers. So, yeah, Fusion is available as well, but Fusion, it costs about, let's see, no, move my head back down. Fusion costs like $500 a year right now. If you want the paid model for makers, which, hey, that sucks in and of itself. Because it's $500 freaking dollars a year. It's not cheap. But SolidWorks is currently $50 a year. So that is definitely a lot better. So hopefully we can actually grab this window capture here. We're going to go aim this at SolidWorks. There we are. Look at that beautiful program. It also somewhat has a dark mode. I'm still learning how to actually customize things. Oh, let me move you up, Zach. We have the wonderful Zach that is part of the team here. Yeah, I am talking. If you guys can't hear me, let me know. Where is Zach? Oh, Philly Maker Faire applications are now open. Thank you, Evan, for letting me know about that. I will be submitting for Positron to be at the Philly Maker Faire. So if you don't know, if you live in the Philadelphia area, which my audience mostly isn't, Evan being one of the few, there is an April this year. There is a Philly Maker Faire. It is completely free, I believe. I believe they accept donations, which is awesome. I'll be donating what we can. We can't donate too much, but we'll be making a small donation, and we'll be participating. It'll be fun. April 6th. Thank you, Evan. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be the first time I'm going to the Philly Maker Faire because I only just learned about it this year. So yeah, still see Zach in here, so I'm just waiting on him to join. He's getting Discord launched on his PC. Gotcha. Okay. So anyway. This is SolidWorks. If you're not familiar with SolidWorks is just SolidWorks. It is a 1 second. Nope, that is not the button I wanted. Okay. I was gonna try and flip my camera so that I would be facing the actual work rather than just facing off screen entirely. But this is where we are. Oh wait. That's why it's weird. That's why it's weird. Okay. Hey, Zach. Welcome. Let me double check. Do sound check for me. Okay, I do not hear you, so let me... Oh, no, I hear you, but our program doesn't hear you, so let me go ahead and double check this. Gotta pull up our Discord voice thing would do. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Discord audio. There you are. 1 second. There you go. Say something.
Something else?
Well, keep going.
Some more something?
All right, cool. There we go.
Okay, cool.
I have power to join. That's cool.
Yeah, you do. So, okay. For those who don't know, SolidWorks has had a version available for makers for quite some time now. And it's been good. It's been decent, but the problem is that it is only for it is only for what's it called? The web.
Yep.
So
do we want to let Gulsifer in?
yes. Yeah, Gulsifer, sorry. brain
Good.
just
You're good. I
Yeah.
have
So
proved
the
that.
thing with the SolidWorks experience is, I believe the software runs on your computer, but you must connect to the you must connect to the internet for it all to work through
yeah.
their 3D experience thing.
Yes. So now the new version that exists. So before it was all cloud. Like you could only access it through the web browser, no other way. That was it. Now you actually can download a local copy, which is what we have here. Which is awesome. I hate cloud apps because they can get bogged down by the browser. Like so, if you have a bunch of tabs open, that's going to bog you down. And they're also resource hogs. Browsers are not good at managing their own resources. So while they are convenient, they are not very useful in that regard.
Like
One
me.
second.
Yeah, I've been spoiled with having the main regular SolidWorks for years now. Everywhere I've worked has had either SolidWorks or some other CAD system, but mostly SolidWorks.
Yeah, and if this works out, I absolutely will be looking into. Second, show my avatar first. Sorry, getting. Oh, we can't. Okay, can't use that widget. Darn, that widget does not work on stages yet. That's a shame. So if this is something that works out well, we are likely going to move over to this for Positron, only because one, it would be cheaper in the long run. That is the biggest reason. So right now, technically, because Positron is a startup, we do get special pricing on Fusion. So it is right now $50 a year for us, which is great. That's awesome for all right, 1 second. Yeah, let me Ghost first the one with the shield, right?
Yep.
Yeah, stream mode lets me see G, so I can't confirm.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with Discord lately. It's been really
Yeah. Welcome, Gulsifer. You join. Invite to speak. You can join. There you go.
Hello. How's everybody doing today?
How's it going? So
It's going great.
you say SolidWorks expert. Is that a CSWE?
Yes. Yes. I have 25 years of experience and I train people in
Nice.
SolidWorks.
Oh hell yeah!
Nice.
Okay. So SolidWorks has a bunch of different licenses. They have the maker license. If you make under a certain amount, you can utilize that as much as you want. It's about $50 a year, and you can install it locally on your machine. Okay. So you do not necessarily have to use just the web browser variant. There's two variances. One is by Distill Systems, and one is I think it's this 3D experience
Yeah.
version, but it creates a local version on your machine. Of
Yeah.
course, go ahead.
That's what I was saying. The 3D experience for makers is what I've used of the maker licenses. And what it does is you install it on your local system, but then like you have to go through their, it's like a web interface. I don't remember if it's through the app or if it's through the web, but I know basically it has to reach out to the web to launch the local software. It's not like, regular install of SolidWorks, which is 100% local only. This has to like reach out and authenticate and launch through the 3D experience.
It's similar to what Fusion does.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is a local install, and it keeps you can keep your files local or in the cloud. You have an option. You can actually do that in your settings. Up at the top, there's usually a gear. I don't know if you guys have that one in the web-based version of SolidWorks, because I utilize the full version in all my jobs.
I
But
do
up
have
top,
Yep.
there's a little gear that next to the main dialog box that allows you to actually customize and change where your files go and all that stuff, all your source files.
Yep, I see. File locations here. For me, it just
Yep.
shows local. It doesn't show anything cloud-wise.
Yeah. That's also where you go nomad the gears where you also go to customize the user interface to go into dark mode or change the background, the specific style. You can customize just about everything. If you want to go metric or if you want to go imperial, you do have the option in SolidWorks through the gear interface under units to actually change your units to metric or imperial depending on what you're utilizing. Most people use imperial in the continental United States, but I think stock SolidWorks usually comes with metric.
Okay.
In this version of SolidWorks, you still have the option at the bottom right of the screen, the
That
little
is
drop
correct.
down menu.
That is
Yeah.
correct. But you
Yeah,
can
I see
set it
that.
up under the gear. You can set it up so you don't have to set it up every time you open your documentation.
Oh
It
yes.
automatically recognizes that, hey, I want to work in metric.
Setting the default.
That is correct. That is
Yep.
correct. But there are some major benefits with SolidWorks. The file sizes and the file structures are a lot smaller, typically, than Inventor, at least in my personal knowledge, substantially smaller. There are ways to reduce your file size even more inside of SolidWorks. And it's a very, very powerful piece of software. It's really, really well utilized for mechanical designs like the positron, which is a mechanical design. Um, but yeah, we used it. We used it for the Rook project because I was one of the developers for the Rook project, and we used it for a couple other printers too, a couple other design printers that are in the background that are supposed to be coming out in the next couple of years.
Hell yeah. Yeah, this is definitely already something that. Oh, look at that! It's dark mode now.
Yep,
Oh, my
there you go.
eyes are saved.
So Nomad, let me teach you a couple little things
I'm gonna
okay.
hop away, but
that I use when I'm in SolidWorks every day that make things flow. Uh, when you're sitting at a computer working, do you normally rest at WASD like a true PC gamer?
No.
Try this real quick.
No, hold on. The answer is when I'm working in CAD, my hand is resting on my CAD mouse.
Okay. So I typically have the FPS gamer resting position. So I use the keyboard
Ooh.
shortcuts of spacebar and S constantly. So hit spacebar.
Well, oh yeah, I saw that earlier.
So
spacebar, then S.
No, just spacebar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now you can click the different view, and then it usually pops
Oh,
up
yeah.
a menu as well that gives you some options to pick from. And then S is just a context shortcut menu. And basically everything in SolidWorks is customizable. So like in the S menu, if I'm working in a sketch, I always have Smart Dimension in my S menu because that's usually the number one thing I'm going after is the dimension tool. So you just hit
Yeah.
S and then it's right there. And then like in assembly, like I'll have mate or I always put like the measure tool on there.
Yeah, I
Can
will
I
say.
can I make a professional recommendation? I know you
Sure.
guys are utilizing a lot of the tools like the spacebar and the S and stuff, but my professional recommendation is when you start building assemblies as complicated as a 3D printer or something like that, I highly, 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 highly recommend getting a 7-axis mouse for the left side of your keyboard. My recommendation for a brand is 3D Connection.
Yep, that's the one I
They
have.
work amazingly well with SolidWorks, zooming in, out, rotating, and getting into tight spaces for creating mates is
I've tried working with the very unit you're talking about. I'm fairly certain, and I cannot make my brain like it. The
yeah,
touch
there
is
is a little
too
bit of
sensitive.
a learning curve, Zach.
Yeah,
You have to admit.
I've tried and tried and tried, and I can't get used to them.
There is a little bit of a learning curve, but it does speed up the assembly project by a by a substantial amount. Substantial. And if you can wrap your mind around the 7 axes, by the way, the nice thing about the 3D connection version is they have a user interface that you can customize, and you can turn off specific rotations or vectors, and you can reduce the speed as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're talking about it's real big. It's kind of got like a like a palm rest on it, and it's got a bunch of buttons and a LCD screen. I think that's the same one.
Oh, that's the Pro model. I'm currently using the one that doesn't have the screen. But it has
Yeah.
like the big wristband. All right.
At my last job, there was one left behind by the previous guy, and I tried it for like a year. I would use it on and off trying to get used to it, and it slowed me down too much.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I found this one for like $100 on eBay, and it was in phenomenal condition. It was used, and absolute steal. Just could not refuse. Like whoever was selling this should have sold it like as new, or not as new, but like new, because it is in that good of condition. Sometimes it has a bit of a stick drift issue, but it's fine. It's not that big of a problem. Let me step away for just a second because so I was trying SolidWorks earlier, and I made a hat hook to just test my ability to do some basic catting. So let me go grab that off the printer real quick.
Yeah, so it goes for a little bit of my background with SolidWorks. I I got into 3D printing in like 2015, beginning of 2015, and just basically felt my way through working with Tinkercad, and then somebody suggested I learn SolidWorks, and I
Okay.
did the whole online tutorial thing and got up to a CSWP and have been using it professionally since 2018 now.
So
congratulations.
here's our hat hook. It works, but I failed to measure the brim of the hat, so it doesn't actually like work that well. But hey, that is a functional hat hook to some degree. But hey, let's redesign this now that we're in SolidWorks. Let's actually design a hat hook that will work based off what we have here. So
Perfect. I'm really curious to see how you designed your components, because there's a specific way that I always train everybody to design.
Oh, you're gonna hate me. You're just gonna hate me. I definitely do not do it the way that you are supposed to. But I get there in the end. So let's go ahead and swap over to our blank canvas here. And let's start with a sketch. All right. So this is how I personally would do this. So for a simple model, this is not like a model that I am absolutely going to go back in the future and change parametric settings. If this was something along the lines of a more standardized mounting system like Positini, I would absolutely be using variables and other aspects like that to specifically control the size of everything. For this, relative dimensions to one another should be generally fine. So first thing, we're going to make a circle, make that 5 mil. So that is our first thing.
Okay, so just real quick, when you put in a dimension, just like you did, that does not stick. You can drag that and resize that all you want. Typically, putting the dimensions in makes sure everything plays nice. I know you
Blue
said
is
that,
no good. Blue is
right.
no good. Black is your friend.
Okay.
And I know you said that since everything's going to be relative, that it doesn't really matter. But the thing is, as you continue on through even just the sketch, you can have issues with stuff just blowing up on you. Now,
Okay.
I saw you go over there and hit fix. You know, that is a solution. I personally don't think
That
it's
is
the
not
correct
a
solution.
solution.
That is not the correct solution.
That is not the correct solution.
That is
Okay.
a band-aid on a severed limb of a solution.
Absolutely,
So
Zach. Absolutely.
So what you want to do is at the
wait, it's
top
black.
you'll see, yeah, it's because you fixed it.
Oh,
You see the little anchor?
yeah.
Yeah, so now that you clicked on the
Unfix it.
circle again, hit fix and it'll undo the fix. Yep.
Well, I hit
And
undo
then
now, so now it's
so
blue.
now so that means it's just
So,
underdefined.
so a couple of things right off the bat. First, your circle is sitting in the middle of nowhere. I like to start whatever I'm drawing always on the origin point. And the origin point is right smack dab in the middle, and it automatically locks it in one category. You don't have to put additional dimensions to lock it to the center point or to a surface, right? So you
Uh-huh.
can lock that by putting it directly to the origin.
Which
And
it
then
looks like
after,
that's what you did.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think it
zoom
is.
in. Let me see. Yep, it's locked. Now it's locked to
Yeah.
the origin. Now that it's locked to the origin, you locked it in a specific plane or category. Now you can dimension it. And once you dimension it, it will turn black because that circle has nowhere else to move.
Okay, how do I
So
dimension it?
so first you need
Smart
to
dimension.
undo. Hold on, he's got it fixed again.
I didn't do it. Oh, I didn't even click fix.
So you see the little green anchor.
Okay.
Hold on, do this real quick. I'm going to show you a trick. Redo one more time. The
That
little
fixed it.
green square, that tells you what relations that you have. So that is saying that in pink is fixed. You can
Okay.
actually click that and then just delete just that
On your
relation.
keyboard. On your keyboard.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
well.
on your keyboard or the way you clicked it, both work.
Yeah.
So now you're back to where the circle is not dimensioned and it's free to move in size.
Okay.
So now you utilize the smart dimension on that circle, and it will turn. And now you can control it via that dimension,
Okay.
and it will turn it black.
I see. Okay.
So right now it's pinned to your origin point. That's what that green square is.
Mhm.
And then your overall size of your circle is dimensioned, which constrains it and turns it black.
Okay. So now I'm going to continue on how I believe, and obviously correct me if I am wrong. So I see there's an offset option here. Where is it? I did this earlier and it worked.
So if you select the geometry and then hit offset,
Okay.
it
You
will.
also have it in your tool set. You also have it in your sketch tool set up at the top.
Yep. I see it there.
Yep. That you can utilize that. And then you
There
click
we go.
that, and then it specifies the distance. And here's what happens when you offset. Once you offset, whatever distance you specify, it puts a dimension in and it offsets it that distance. That's your offset dimension. So if you want to change your offset, you can actually change that dimension and it'll change your offset.
And you
All
can
right,
just double click on a dimension to open it for editing.
Okay. I'm starting to like this. All right. So now.
Oh, this is the easy part. We're at the easy part.
Oh boy. All right. So
I'm
now.
going to tell you a scary word that you're not going to understand, but that is going to scare you anyway.
Wonderful.
Multi-thousand part assemblies with sub-assemblies nested 3 to 4 layers deep.
Yep.
That sounds terrible.
So the nice thing about SolidWorks is you can make a part You can then generate an assembly with multiple parts. Then you can nest that assembly within another assembly, within another assembly, within another assembly, within another assembly. So it can get components and pieces and parts can get super, super large. Let's say you have a idler stack, right?
Hmm.
And you want that idler stack to be consistent because you're going to use it in more than one place. You make an assembly of that idler stack, and then you make an assembly of your printer, and then you can copy that idler stack in more than one location as an assembly.
So to double check, so this line's black. I just generated it.
So
That-
you see how the endpoint is blue.
Yeah,
That means
that's
that your length is not defined. You see the green square in the middle that's got a horizontal line? That means that
okay.
it is horizontal on your sketch plane. So if you wanted it off at an angle, you would need to delete the horizontal relation there.
All right. Well, I do want it as parallel, so that works. So now I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and do another offset here. We're gonna do minus 10. Yep. Okay.
Let me tell you another thing that's really nice too. Basically anywhere that you can enter a number, you can enter an equation.
Yep. I figured that because that's how I'm familiar with fusion working. Okay. So I guess I have to do. Oh wait, no, that's black. Okay.
Why is that black? Because you
Oh.
defined it, and then now you're over constraining it.
Ah, I
So
see.
the reason why it's black is because you defined one line already, and then you offset the other line, and it knows that the other line is the same distance as the primary line. So it turned the other one black. And then what you did is you connected two nodes that were already black and defined to one another with a line. And what that did is it automatically constrained that line in the vertical position.
All right.
Let me
So
explain
then,
another thing that you see here that to just so that you'll understand it, it makes more sense. So you see how your first circle is a dark purple, and then your second larger circle is a lighter color, and then the lines that you added over are just background color. You notice that?
yes.
So in SolidWorks, basically every time you do a sketch, it's you got to think like you're going to extrude it, right? So what you're seeing there is closed contours. The dark color is the internal of the closed contour, and then the light circle is like the external. So like if you didn't have the lines on it and you just extruded it, the inside would be just the default setting. The outside would be solid and the inside would be the hole. But the correct way to make a extruded boss is to only have closed contours in your sketch.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So there's a
technically,
way to do that. There's a way to fix his existing drawing to do that. And the way you fix that is by trim. So
right.
you utilize the trim command, and what you do is you remove the contours between the other lines, and then what it does is you will see that it will change the way that your sketch looks, where it now becomes extrudable.
Okay. So I
Okay.
So
did find that earlier when I
Okay,
was
so
tinkering.
yeah, so here's what you need to do. Grab the trim command
Give me
and
a second.
go and click between the two lines,
Sorry, give me just a second
the
here.
outside circle.
you're measuring. I was gonna say, what are you taking notes?
Yep, measuring. All right, so I did that at 34. I'm going to want to do that at 20, 50. 50 millimeters is what we're going to want to do. Before I do that, I want to continue because I'm not ready to extrude yet. So I want to do a little bit more work before we do that. So, all right. I'm going to say right about here. So, There we go. We are going to, let's see. Okay, so
Okay, so is that a line or is that a reference?
it is a line.
Okay, are you utilizing it as a reference, or are you going to be using it as an
Actual example.
actual, the one you just made? Oh, you
Yep.
didn't make anything.
Did we
So
make this?
No,
let me teach you something really, really nice. You can make a line from the bottom all the way to the top, and you can turn it into a construction line, which means that that line is no longer relevant to the sketch, but it is relevant to your lines inside of your document, inside of your drawings.
Mhm.
So
So that means
basically,
like,
it's like, is there? I don't. Is there's not an equivalent to that in Fusion, is there? I
no,
think
there
there
isn't.
is.
I don't think there is.
It,
So the nice
okay.
thing about that is you can align existing lines with other lines, and you can make a grid pattern. You can do whatever you want. You can make all kinds of other shapes inside to use them as a reference or a guide. And what you do is you draw a regular line, and then you click that line and you assign it as a construction line.
Okay.
So you see how that thing is blue? Because
Yep.
it's floating in midair. Now, here's how you can fix that. Go make a line from that point right there. Yep, that point right there to the other line down below. All the way down to the other, no, all the way down to the other node. Yep, down to the other node. That up a one, yeah, that's fine. Now click on that line. Yep, that line, and go to construction line.
Okay.
Now that line is no longer relevant to your drawing, but it's there to help you build your document. Now, the only thing you're missing is an angle. So what is your angle on that?
135.
That's the constraint you're missing. No, you have to put a dimension.
So
So if you do
Smart
the
dimension.
smart dimension between the horizontal line and the angled line,
Yep, that and that. Perfect. And pull it out.
but
I don't
one
think
second.
you click that second line. What the hell?
One second. So smart dimension.
Smart dimension.
This.
Click. Click.
There we go.
Yep, there it is. Now pull it out. There you go.
Okay. Awesome. So now we're going to go ahead and offset this. Now let's see here. I am curious to see.
The cap ends.
No. Okay. We're just going to do that.
Oh, hold on. No. You don't need to do that. You can use it. Extend. Extend. So there's an
Okay.
extend command. So right under the cut command, there's a little pull down that says extend.
Undercut. Let's see.
So the cut command has a little arrow next to it.
Under trim.
Yeah, under trim. Trim. Yep, right there. Pull that. Push that
Oh, I
down,
see.
and it says extend. And now you can extend it.
Ah,
And it still
that's
maintains
useful.
it still maintains the line being black, and then it extends to the next line, so that way you can still maintain all of your constraints.
All right. I like it.
If you would have dropped in just a line from the end of that line to the next one, you would have had to have made sure that it terminated on the horizontal line, and you would have had to made sure that it was collinear with the line that you drew it from. So you end
Yep.
up with an extra piece of geometry and extra relations that can bog things down in larger assemblies.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let me check something here. Okay, so that just needs to be 21. Yeah, we'll stick to that being longer than it needs to be. 1 second, put my hat back on. All right. So let's say, for example, we want to move in and set that back to 40. Beautiful. Okay, that's wonderful. I love that. All right, so we're gonna go
Now,
ahead.
you can't extrude, but you can extrude everything that you built by using the trim command and trimming the lines between the other lines.
Yep. I again did figure that out on my own. It's not yet ready. So now, oops, I did this wrong. So linear sketch pattern along there, and then entities
Oh,
to
look
pattern.
at you.
Now, the one thing I found out I really like about this instead of Fusion is that rather than, so in Fusion, you need to determine the distance the entire pattern is going to be. So for example, if I wanted to fill in the blanks between these two new sketches, I would have to move that all the way to the end and then tell it how many entities I want. In SolidWorks, what I found is you just set how far you want these to be, and then it will repeat based off of that.
Yep.
I love it. It does make lining up things a little bit tricky.
So you see the dimension X spacing.
Yeah.
So if you like the spacing that you, or the dimension that you enter there, if you like it, you can turn that on and it'll generate the dimensions for you. But if you just want to fill a specified area and add the dimension later, like if you wanted to tie that last one to the end of that line, you can actually leave the dimension X spacing undone and then just drag over the end of the one there. So you see how it's not defined? So you can click the endpoint of the blue line there, the one, yep, and then drop it, and then it
There you go.
automatically.
Defined.
So you're defined not by the length between the pattern nodes. You're defined by it's an equal number. It's the specified number between the start point and the end point.
Fancy. All right. I like it. I really like that. Okay. So now that we are to a point where we can trim, what they've been talking about is there is this button here that we can do trim entities. Now, if we go in here, we can trim all of the unnecessary geometry that we have.
And now that you see it's starting to turn dark, those are all,
Yep.
that dark space is the extrusions part.
What's
The part
nice
that
is
will extrude.
you just draw the mouse through the faces you don't, or through the lines you don't want, and there we
So
go.
now you see how it's lit up red and yellow?
Yep.
So something you drew or something that happened when you did that is now over defining.
Based off
My
the red, I would say it's this 300.
no, I don't think that would be it. It's probably something down in the circle. So what I
Yep.
typically do, there's an option on trim called make trim entities construction geometry. And what that does is that converts everything that you trim into construction geometry. And I find sometimes it helps with this.
Oh, shoot.
I'm gonna let Gulsifer expound on that a little bit more. That's kind of an experience thing.
Yeah. So with this, the way you have to look at it is the fact that you have two different entities inside of the middle of that circle. You see how it's two separate dark shapes?
Yep.
If you start trimming, what I would do is I would not trim that circle in the middle just yet. Trim just the outside circles. Yep. That and that right there. That's where your definition changes. So what ends up happening is you you lose your one of your constraints, and because you lose that constraint, it can't define it. It gives you an error. Well, how can I explain it? Um, yeah.
It
So
fucking borks it.
yep, yep, and that's your main problem right there. It's not the center circle; it's that outer circle.
Okay.
So what I would do is I would remove the dimension for the outer circle.
Is it breaking the? I think it's breaking the offset relation.
It
Yeah.
likely is. So
Yeah.
right, this one. That
It shouldn't. Yeah. So
Uh,
give that a shot. It might be the offset relation, but I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty
uh,
sure it's the actual circle dimension. It's your actual dimension.
give me a second. Just thinking.
Can you break it? I want to see what turns red
Give it a second. It's thinking.
in your tree.
oh.
I clicked the thing. I didn't mean to click a thing. Auto save in progress. That's what's going on. Our friendly KB3D logo is currently blocking it.
Yeah, so when everything turns crazy like that, it's typically, I've always heard it called your sketch is blown up or your model's blown up or your assembly's
Well,
blown
usually
up.
it's an over constraint issue, and you can delete. What I end up doing to repair some of those issues is I delete some of the over constraining nodes. Some of the nodes. You see those green boxes? You can delete some of those boxes. That's what ends up happening.
Yeah, those
And
boxes will turn red and yellow.
yep, yep. And you can delete some of those boxes, and most of the time it will repair it. You just have to find which one it is, which one's borking it.
So yellow means it is an over constraint. So it's like you've got the same, you've got two separate constraints on the same thing.
Yeah.
So like if you ended up with two, like that dimension that's lit up there, that 5, if somehow you ended up with two of those on there, they would be yellow because it would be over constraining. The red is unsolvable. So it could be like it conflicts with another constraint that's trying to push it somewhere other than the one constraint. So
I've
like
also seen
if
it.
you're trying to say like the center circle is both 5 and 10 millimeters at the same time will cause that.
I've also seen it where you have two overlapping constraints. You know, two yellows that cause a red. I've
Right.
seen that happen all the time.
Did it
I
finish?
think it's trying to auto save the positron CAD, which I left open in the background. So we might be
Oh,
here for a bit.
that's a large one.
and that,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's a step file too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse.
Obviously,
That's even worse.
if we move to this, we would break things down to more independent assemblies and then put it together as a proper
Oh yeah,
assembly file.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
100%. That's the way to do it.
Building it from the ground up with sub-assemblies is the way to go. There's this
Yeah.
thing that SolidWorks has in assemblies called lightweight, and what that is it will basically load a sub-assembly as a part. So instead of when you load up the positron, it's got to load every single little
The,
bolt and every
the newest
little.
version, the newest version of SolidWorks actually does a raster images
Really?
as a subassembly. So you
Wow.
can have assemblies within assemblies within assemblies, all in the same assembly, and they're raster images inside of your assembly. So it takes even less data. So that's as of 2025. I mean, 2024 had it, 2023 I think had it, 2024 and 2025. So that means that it lives like in imaginary space. I don't know how it does it, but it uses some sort of raster imaging, and you can still download the files onto your computer if you want to, but when you're working in the model, it's a raster image. It's like only outside surfaces. It's genius. It's pure genius because it doesn't bog down ginormous assemblies at all.
Hell yeah. I just wish I had actually closed out of the positron CAD.
Step files are one of the worst file formats you can import into SolidWorks because it actually calculates all the polygons of all the different surfaces.
So
You know
Unless,
what's worse than a step file? Any
object
STL,
files.
any kind of mesh, STL or OBJ.
Yeah. So when we're
The way you
working
resolve
with
that,
a
the way you resolve that in SolidWorks. Sorry.
if we move to this being our workflow, we would have to export our fusion assemblies so that we don't have to export every single model and every single, you know,
There's a thing
this
called
tiny
feature recognition. There's a
Okay.
thing called feature recognition where you can import an object or a high density model and then tell SolidWorks to do feature recognition, and it will extrude and do all that stuff for you in the background. And it will
Okay.
make the part into a SolidWorks part
Interesting.
through the feature recognition tool. I don't know if you guys ever utilize that.
I've used it a little bit to mixed success. But the real question is, does the Maker 3D experience have feature recognition?
All right.
I
I
don't
don't want
know.
to wait for this any
I,
longer. I'm gonna just kill the program.
yeah,
We can
I
easily.
don't know. I can't tell you if it does or not, because I use the full version.
All right. Come on, program. You
I
can
think it does
close.
have it. It says it has sheet metal, structural framing, drawings, parts, assemblies.
All right. Let's try that again. This time, we won't load the world's most, complicated step file in the world.
Can I make a recommendation, Nomad?
Sure.
Do your little circle and your 2 lines, and then offset the whole thing.
Okay. We shall certainly try that.
I'm curious now.
Oh, alerts, document recovery. Well, I don't want to recover any of that. At all. What I want to recover is, where is, what we were just working on? It's not in there, is it? I don't think it is. Nope, okay. So we're just going to make a new part.
So, Golsifer, do you work for SolidWorks or
No.
a VAR?
No, I custom build SolidWorks profiles and user profiles and stuff like that for companies.
Nice.
Oh, that's dope. That's a good
Yeah,
thing
so I
accidentally pinged
use
everybody.
I use feature recognition a lot to backward
Yeah.
engineer components and stuff. So yeah.
I used to work for a company that we did all those large assemblies on it, and we had one guy whose entire job was just PDM administration for a room of like maybe 30 drafters and modelers.
That's pretty much what I do.
Yeah.
I fix problems.
PDM administration is some stressful stuff, especially when the business is full of idiots. One of those 1,000-part assemblies when I first started working there, I opened it up and
No, Nomad, don't do that. Do the circle do the circle and then the lines that you wanted. Those 2 lines off the top and the bottom, and then trim the center of that circle and offset it, and you're done, pretty much.
Okay. So go in here. Oh, that's 300. Okay. Then
Rule of thumb:
here.
if there isn't a dimension on it, it's not done.
Fair enough. Make that.
also you can look at the bottom right, where like
underdefined. Yeah, I
the
see that.
yeah, you can see it peeking through your UI now.
Perfect. Trim that circle between those two lines, and then offset that whole thing. And you're pretty much almost where you began, but without any of the errors.
All right, nice. Then I can just close that off.
Yep. Close the other one off. And you're almost back where you began.
Sweet. All right, and then we go back here. We're
Yep.
gonna
And turn that into a construction.
Yep. For construction.
Perfect.
Okay. Now we will go back here.
Just drag it in a random space, and you will put the dimensions and stuff, and it'll do it for you.
All right, and then we're gonna make this 40. All right. I actually don't want it right there, so we're gonna move it down. So let's go ahead and use another construction here.
The nice thing about construction lines is you can so if you don't see your construction line, you can highlight it with a box. So if you click outside the line and highlight that whole area with the box. Yep, like that. It should appear. There it is. Now you can turn it into a construction line. And then if you dimension that, you can control it with a dimension string. You can control that construction line with the dimension string. So that way, if you need to go back and change where that's located, so grab the two nodes, do smart dimension, and just grab the nodes. You will see the nodes. That node, yep, and that node right there. There you go. And now you can control that line with that dimension.
I'm learning so much. All right, so now we go here, drag that out. Okay.
Yeah. Use dimensions. Don't use the side profile right there. Just use dimensions. It would be faster because then you're doing it twice, Nomad. You're doing it once there, and then you're doing it again when you do the dimensions.
Fair
So,
point.
so what you can do is just click the dimensions and utilize the dimensions. And when you click the dimension, it tells you, hey, what do you want? And you just double click the dimension if you want it. Yeah, like right now, it should prompt you right when you put it in. Your dimension should prompt you over there on the left-hand side what your dimension is in your
Yes.
properties.
Are you not getting the pop up with the little wheel
That's
and
all.
thing?
Yeah, no, I'm getting that. Oh, wrong button. Okay, so now we do offset. Yep. Now we do extend. Okay. Cap that off. Okay.
Check your dimensions really quick. Make sure they're okay.
Fully defined. We're good.
Nice.
Perfect. Now you can trim, or you can array it.
Right, along there.
You want to unselect that long line because you're going to copy it a whole bunch of times.
Nope.
Why
It's
is it
good.
still showing pink? Oh, that's I'm dumb.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
his
letting
direction.
me
Yeah.
grab that.
That
What
was
the-
that was slick.
Yeah, that is a good line. There we go. Wait, why is it green?
Um,
Hold on. I know what's going on. Right.
you're selecting
Select
it
that,
as
and then
Yeah.
there we go.
Yep, there you go.
Nice.
He was selecting it as a separate vector direction.
yeah, I like for
Yeah.
direction too. Yeah. You can just hit OK and it'll leave it yeah.
So I want to try this. So let's try.
Nope, that's not gonna work.
hold on. So how would
Because
you extend the bottom of that out?
So, do you want to? What do you want to do? Do you want the extra length on the 300 line, or do you want
Yeah,
the
just the
the?
extra length. Yeah.
So first off, your dimensions between your things are not set. So you would first off delete the 300 length there.
Yep.
Yep. You want to delete that? Just hit delete. Yep.
And then just drag
Now
that.
drag the end of the line. So you
No,
want to
I would
grab
use
the
constraints. I wouldn't drag it. I would use constraints. I would
You're
select
right.
that line.
Constraints would be good.
Select that line and select that node. Yep. And then do
you gotta hold shift and select both.
yeah, shift and select. And then you can do right there on under constraints coincidental. There you go. Okay. Now
then-
you haven't constrained the end of this.
Because
So
you just
you
deleted
can
that 300.
yes, that's fine. So you can constrain it, Nomad. You see that little box? Not that box, the little box on your sideways thing. It looks like trying to look at it here on my screen. I apologize. Not
Okay.
that. On your slanted, your 45-degree line,
This.
there's a little
yes.
green box. Not that one. Up above.
Oh.
Right there. In the middle of that slanted
Yes.
45. You see that? If you double click that, that takes you back to your uh, linear
That didn't work.
constraint.
Yep.
It should have.
No, it's the offset or the
Yeah, you're offset.
It just pulled up the relations when you did that. Just hit the check mark, and then try double clicking there again. Yeah, no, that's just bringing up the relation. Do you see what is that? A 5? You see just the number 5 over to the left a little bit?
Yes, I see that.
Yeah. Try double
Yeah,
clicking
double
that.
click that.
There we go.
There you go. So now you have an actual distance.
Oh, that's number of items. Cool.
Oh, that okay. No, that's just changing that. I
Where's
think
his
you
distance?
actually there wasn't one defined. I think you would either have to.
Okay, so
you-
here's what happened. Here's what happened. He constrained the end of that to that line. So he has to put in a new dimension for that line
Yeah, see,
because
that's what I was
that
thinking.
relation is now constrained to the end of that.
I believe you could right click on the number and hit edit linear pattern, and it would bring back up the menu where you could select a length. Why is your
Usually when you select the 5, you're allowed to modify it.
Yeah,
But I
it's
don't
Yeah,
see
weird.
that
it just pulls up that number.
the value.
Yeah, I've got a couple of a couple of parts I've made where that is equation driven on a linear pattern like that.
Yeah, that's weird.
And
Yeah, so that's driven
so
by the
that
sketch right there.
yeah, that's just you're basically it's a dimension, but it's the dimension is the number of times it's
Yeah.
repeated. So
That's
try
all.
this. Right click on that 5. We can't see the menu. Do you see a edit linear pattern?
When you right click.
No.
He can change
No.
his value over there.
Yeah, that's it. Obviously, there was a misstep or something along those lines. But
I mean,
fine.
this is kind of an edge case. You know, there's a million ways to do everything. So
Yeah,
what
but
you can
it's all
do,
right. It's all right. We
what-
can continue moving forward.
Yeah.
it looks like your coincident constraint at the end there went missing.
Yep.
Yeah, it says I defined the
Oh,
thing at the bottom.
that's weird.
Yeah, wait, what? Okay, whatever.
Hold on, do this.
Okay. So now when you extrude, how are you going to extrude this? This is critical because this is where I start to. I always extrude, and I teach everybody that I teach SolidWorks. Always nope. Go back and extrude it via the mid plane. Always. Why do you extrude along the midplane? Because you can use the plane as a constraint.
Okay.
So I know it sounds weird, but when you're making an assembly, you can use your center constraint, your center, yeah, like that. And the reason why is go to your planes on your left-hand side.
Yeah.
You see your flat plane? You can
Yeah.
use that as a constraint in an assembly.
Oh, cool.
So you can
That's
line
pretty
things
slick.
up via the center of your
All right.
part, as long as you build it in both directions.
I do like that. All right. So now
Okay.
we're going to go ahead and do some fillets.
So the thing with working in SolidWorks is it's like playing chess versus playing checkers. When you're playing chess, you want to think 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 moves down the road of what you're eventually going to do or what you may do and plan ahead for it. And
And
that extruding from the center or mid plane like that is one of those. I may put this in an assembly. It's a good practice just to have that way.
okay,
Fair.
so right now your radius is way too big. If you reduce it to 2.5, because I believe that's a 5 radius, 5 offset. How wide was your offset? I didn't catch
10.
that.
So it's going to be 5.
So then it's a 5. So you always do it a 5.
Yep.
There you go. So now it's a perfect radius.
There we go. Now, for strength, we're going to do 2 fillets since these are different measurements. I love the wireframe view because that just makes things so
The
much
preview.
easier. Yeah, because like
Another
yes,
neat-
and it tries to recalculate everything, and it's like, please just show me what it might look like.
So check this out. Over at the left, you see where it says full preview.
Yeah,
Hit partial preview.
yeah, I like full preview.
Oh yeah, for sure. Another thing is if for whatever reason, like try this, change your dimension there to 300.
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, just flat side.
Do like 500. I'm trying to break it. I'm trying to put it in a situation where it is not a possible.
Oh, I just did 5,000. It's still
well,
possible.
It's not going to break it. So if you select some geometry where it cannot put the feature on it at all, the wireframe will be missing. So if you're ever trying to put a like a fillet on something or a chamfer, and the wireframe just won't show up, even though you've got stuff selected,
That usually
that's a good sign
happens
that it's
when
broke.
two vertexes collide. When you have two different vertexes that collide together, or surfaces that are radial and they collide together, that's when that usually happens. That's the most common time it happens. And if you do ever have that happen, the wise move is do one radius, let it calculate, and then do the other radius and let it calculate it separately. Because that happens a lot when you have intersecting radii. That's the easiest way to break it. Experience here, you know?
So I missed a corner here, so we're going to go back into this fillet. How do I? Okay, hold on.
Right click on it. You can right click on it.
And then just click to add. There we go. All right. Now we add the new fillet. And for this, yeah, we're just going to do that. Just enough to make it look
And now it's
nice.
printable.
There we go. Simple little hat hook. Now, let me just check here. So that is telling me that is 27.76 in length after we did all of our stuff. So if I measure that here as 20, okay, so that will work. Okay, so now here is something that I am very used to doing in Fusion that I want to try here. Now, normally, I know you would want to, you'd plan ahead and do this in the original sketch. Let's say we couldn't do that for whatever reason. So my brain in Fusion would go sketch on here. And then what we would do, say we wanted to, one second.
Let me. I think I know what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
When you are in Fusion, you usually don't model with a feature history, do you?
I do.
Okay.
Say I just wanted, that's not the way I wanted it.
Then I was thinking you wanted to just extend those, but I see what you're doing now. You're just
Are
putting
you
like
making a
on it.
hook?
Yep, something stupid
Well,
like
why
that.
didn't you do it? Hold on. You can finish that in 30 seconds. You go into your primary feature and you change the sketch, and it automatically does it for all your hooks.
Yep, no, absolutely. That is the right way to do it. I'm demonstrating how I would have normally done this in Fusion
You're doing it.
if I could
You're doing
go
it the
back.
lazy way.
Yeah, the lazy way. So let's define that, and obviously, well, oh, here's our problem. I can't then replicate that. So whatever.
You
I'm
actually
just focusing on this one. Well, I don't have the original dimension that we used.
So
Okay.
you can reference. So you can use any point vertex.
Okay.
In certain cases, surfaces
Okay.
as references in the sketch you're in.
The other nice thing about this is you can use exactly what he said. You can use any face and or surface via midplane. Want to do midplane? Oh no, you want to do the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So
Either blind with an opposite direction or an up to surface.
Yep.
And you want to pick the surface that would terminate the
Yep, like that. And you hit check. So you can inside of SolidWorks. The nice thing about SolidWorks is you can actually physically tell it that, hey, I want a specific face to be shown, and you can project that face onto a sketch. Any face and or line can be projected onto a sketch.
Cool. That I am familiar with. What's it called? Fusion. Okay, so solid bodies, fillet one.
It's like project or something.
Yeah.
Fusion, I think.
So what it is file. Yeah, project in Fusion in SolidWorks. It's called, what is it?
Convert entities.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, converted entities. That is correct.
Oh, there's a 3D print function. That's neat.
Yeah, don't use it.
Yeah, I'll never use it. Export 3MF.
I typically do step files. 3MF is kind of it's just like an STL with extra steps.
True.
It's useful when you have like to set up geometry or print profiles or whatever. 3MF is a zip file. You can just right click and open a 3MF as a zip.
We came full circle from earlier, Nomad.
Yes, we have.
So no, I typically do a step. Steps are more lightweight, and basically all the slicers now have the ability to bring a step file in.
They're lightweight until you try to load it in SolidWorks, and it takes 30 minutes to load one model.
Well, that's an assembly that takes forever to load. That's not the model. And I guarantee you, if you exported the positron model as a 3MF and tried to load it in SolidWorks, it would take until the heat death of the universe
right
to select one item. You want to talk about slow? Holy crap!
Oh, well, I got a fun problem. I made this too big, but we could just go into the extrude and change that. So let's do.
You made it too thick.
So let's do 12.5. There we go. That should fit through the place where I'm planning on putting this.
So if this is a hat hook, do you have to take off every hat to take off the bottom one?
Sorry, I missed that.
It's a great question. I have not thought of this that far.
You could probably just tilt it up and it's like roofing shingles.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out a place to put my hats, man. They're currently just kind of scattered over a bunch of surfaces.
That hook
Alright.
looks a little small to me, but
Well, here, let me put it on a Prusa XL plate, and then you'll see just how
okay, that's
large
different.
this actually is. Here, let me actually pull up the slicer. So
You just print it in 5 different sections, so it ends up being 5 foot tall.
right, where is it? Slicer capture. Here we go. Set that to Orca slicer.
Oh, it'll be pretty big.
Yeah, you could fit it on a smaller printer if you rotate it out of 45.
Yep. Let me drag that down so that's not over everything. Oh, no, that's in my webcam thing. Don't want that. Nope, that bit there. Okay. So
That
yeah,
capture is so weird.
right. I don't like how it's only capturing the inside. That is. Oh wait, no, that's
And
because I
half
have
the
it.
menu bar.
There we go. I had it trimmed.
Uh,
Yeah. There we go. Anyway. Slice. Oh, wait. It's not centered. There we go. And send.
So Nomad, do you want me to
Oh, yeah.
show you some neat little things that I've designed in SolidWorks using some of the more powerful features?
Sure.
I got
Go ahead and
some
pull
quick
it up.
things.
there better be some damn good SolidWorks to be shown here.
Yeah.
I got a rook
See,
if you guys want to see it.
I got a Rook too. That's on the floor
No,
over
a
there.
Rook 3D printer that's all in SolidWorks.
Uh, Kay is in here, and we're often.
Oh,
Okay, so
I helped Kay convert all of the original Rook files to IronCAD.
Nice. To answer your
so
question, I don't know your Discord name because it is only C because of streamer mode. This is not for a door. No. I have wire rack shelving, because I am in a basement. So this is meant to just go over one of those wire rack pieces, and then the hats just kind of toss on it. It's not meant to, be sturdy or stable. It's just meant to hold hats. It's not even really meant to hold hats. It's just, hey, this is a new CAD program. Let me get familiar with how to do basic shape manipulation so that, because with everything that these guys have taught me, thank you guys so much for everything that you have taught me. I am now
No
able
problem,
to
anytime.
make pretty much everything that we need for positron moving forward because now I know the basics. What is great about CAD is that there is a lot of complicated features that you can use to do some awesome stuff. Like, for example, assembling things together and then making them fucking move so you can simulate limitation of movement. That's awesome.
Yep.
I love that. I want to do more of that with our printers because right now we don't utilize that at all. So what I really want to do is that stuff, but that is more advanced stuff. We're not there yet.
That's when you get
see,
into assemblies and constraints, Nomad.
Yep.
That's all part of the assemblies portion of the software.
So with with the current Positron CAD, it is mostly done as a bunch of different things that we've just thrown together, and it is with assemblies, but the assemblies aren't like perfectly, you know, it's not perfectly organized. One of the things we're gonna do this year is we're going to take the CAD for the Positron, and we are going to gut it, and we are going to rebuild it from scratch. We are going to do a lot of optimization. Essentially, this year, we're going to start working on, changing some things out and working on some updates, some more significant updates. Like, for example, get rid of some M2.5 screws and replacing them with M3s. Just an example. So we want to better utilize the tool sets that we have, and SolidWorks seems to be a really good contender as something that's just going to help us do way more than what Fusion currently can. And I'm excited for that. Fusion's great, at least from what I can tell, for rendering. Like, I love rendering in Fusion because I have a lot of control over everything. I can kind of see a live preview. That's fun. That's good. It sucks. Fusion just sucks as a whole. And it's just because the program does not utilize your system resources that well. All CAD programs are CPU bound. That is a fact of life. But Fusion is just bad at how it utilizes your system resources. I don't know what it is. It is just
It was
bad.
based off of Inventor, that's why. And Inventor's
Ah.
the same way. SolidWorks was built by completely different coders that actually kind of knew how to utilize your system
Yeah.
specs a lot better. And
Yeah,
I have
so-
ran SolidWorks, an old version of SolidWorks on a Surface 2 tablet. Okay. So that's not very good specs for a computer, but I have been able to run SolidWorks on a Surface 2 tablet because of the way the system utilizes the actual file structure.
So there's another thing too, is like a fundamental thing about parametric CAD is a lot of what it has to do really can't be optimized for multi-threading, because it's one thing's built off of another thing built off of another thing. So like when you load something up, there's shortcuts where I imagine that they can like not have to fully recalculate everything every time. You get a lot of that with constraints and such, but yeah, a lot of times it's just all single threaded.
Yeah.
Like
And-
if you get SolidWorks really grinding away on something, open up your task manager and look at your CPU loading, and you'll see that like maybe 1 or 2 cores are loaded down, and like the other
And-
30 or whatever you happen to have are doing nothing.
And
And that's just a fundamental problem
sucks.
with it's. I don't think it's something that can be solved, even like if it was fully overhauled. I just think that's the way that parametric CAD exists. And like
Yeah.
what we were talking about with assemblies, loading things lightweight so that they don't tax your computer as much is kind of like that. Like if you hit rebuild at the top and you've got stuff loaded in lightweight, it's not going to have to recalculate all of those smaller sub-assemblies. It's only going to do the constraints in the higher assembly.
Yep.
So
That's why when you're building assemblies, you really do, especially large assemblies, like the positron's going to be a really large assembly. It's going to be considered a large assembly. I don't know. You guys have 500 plus parts maybe on it,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so that's a large assembly. Because it's a large assembly, you want sub-assemblies in there, like all your idler stacks, and your nuts and your bolts all put together as an assembly. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Then you can constrain that whole assembly as one
So-
unit when you put it in.
if
And
you
it will reduce your file size. It will reduce your file size.
I don't know why, but I can't share a screen or anything here.
That's right.
It's because Nomad has his screen shared. In a stage environment, only one person can share their screen.
Well, that sucks.
And I can't just send you files because you can't open full SolidWorks versions.
Probably not.
That we're talking about with the assemblies, the sub-assemblies. I have a model of basically it's a dream printer that I would want to build if I had the money to build it. I took a model of a Voron 2.4 and put a Doom Cube mod on it, upscaled everything to be 500 by 500 by 500, and modeled in all of the Doom Changer stuff with 9 heads. And like each head with every bolt in each head and every dock is all modeled in there. But I only modeled the dock once. I only modeled the head once. I only modeled like I think my idler stacks are in the model of like the individual idlers. I don't think I went that deep. But everything's
Nice.
split off into sub assemblies.
Yeah,
And
and that's the right way to do it.
you would be amazed at how quick just that file will load. Just the
Yeah.
density of what's in there is incredible. Actually, I have a 3D PDF that I can share to you of that file. Let me see here.
Yeah, shoot it over to Nomad. Let's take a look at it really quick.
I will save this file. I'm going to save it at 3D Experience because I don't really care for this being on my local computer. And we're just going to name this Hat Hook Thingy. My naming
V1.
schemes are... No, V Final. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Maybe you're going to want to put chamfers on it, so that might be V2.
Right? No,
By
that's
the
V
way, you can
Final
chamfer.
Final.
So here's the thing, Nomad. On that particular, do a chamfer command and select the face, not an edge.
Oh, yeah.
What it will
I-
do is it'll.
I presume it will work similar to Fusion, where it will, you know, hey, Mad Cat,
It'll
welcome.
do every edge on the face.
Yeah.
Yep, every edge. Obviously, you're going to have to make sure to adjust the size. And then you just hit OK. Now you have a fancier looking hook.
I got a fancy hook! Mad Cat, look, I got a fancy hook!
We can get even fancier by putting a texture on it too.
Hold on, wait. Let's see. I want to figure this out on my own real quick. If I can.
This one's a little more advanced. Zach, don't tell him.
Wait, what are you trying to do here?
Texture the surface. There's a way to do it. I know how to do it. You know how to do it, Zach?
Yeah, I use it every now and then. I know enough to stumble through it.
Found it. I did it. If I hit browse, let's see. What do I want to do? Let's see. Yeah, let's do.
Are you trying to put text on it, or are you doing a decal, or you want to actual texture the whole thing?
Yeah, this is a decal, obviously. You know,
Okay,
slapped
so
on
decals are
Positron
different. Decals are different. There's actually something called a 3D texture map that you can actually put on a surface and then define that surface in SolidWorks, and it puts a texture on that surface.
Fancy. That's definitely gonna be something I do. Oh, what's going on?
Just ping me when you want to learn it.
Appearance library.
Under Appearance Library, if you don't have it, you're going to have to download it. There's a 3D textured category.
I'm more trying to figure out how do I get rid of what I put on there.
You can select the decal and remove it. Right click on that surface. right click on that surface, a box will pop up. In that box, it allows you to select the actual surface itself, and you can actually remove decals and remove anything that you might have on it. You're in a command right now, so you're gonna have to hit escape twice.
Oh, there it is. Delete. Found it. Okay. And let's download it. Oh. Gotta request access? Seriously?
What?
Yeah, you're not letting me in. Let me in.
So this is what I'm sending you is an e-drawings assembly. Let me do it this way.
Wait, Maggot, you're not muted. What are you going on? Hey, Tech Cheaper, welcome. Oh, Maggot, we're in a stage, so like everybody's muted.
So I think you may have did Philosopher left. The file I just sent you is a e-viewer assembly. If you've worked with any Annex stuff, all of their stuff is they post the e-drawings files. It's basically you can view and that's it.
Okay.
But you should I
So-
believe that gets installed alongside SolidWorks.
Well, let's see. I just downloaded it. So, Doom Changer EASM.
Big cheaper. That actually looks more like a clothes hanger on the back of a door.
It is a hat hanger that we've designed. It's currently printing. I can't open up the other file.
Yeah, to take a hat off of it, you're gonna have to take them off because they're gonna be stacked like roofing shingles.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, I cannot open up that that EASM file. Let me try open.
Do you have e-drawings installed?
No,
Just
I
the-
don't have that.
It's a utility that comes with SolidWorks. Sometimes I don't know that it
I
gets
don't
installed
think-
with 3D Experience.
No. Yeah, no. 3D Experience only gives you SolidWorks. There's nothing else you get.
Yay! Hold on, let me see if I can do a. That's blown up. That looks like garbage.
The real question is your new jobs hat going to be at the top or bottom?
Top.
Oh, so it's going to be at the very top. Which hat's going to be in the bottom place?
Probably my positron hat that has the curved brim because I hate curved brims.
Oh, you'd really hate my D&D hat then.
Did you ever notice I curved the brim on my positron hat?
I mean, that's fine. I don't care if you. It doesn't look good on me. Like that's me. Like here.
Well, yeah, but like your hats
That looks good to
having
me.
a brim on them at all just stops everybody from seeing your face.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, that's the
Ooh.
point. That way I
That
can
was
commit
cold.
crime and get away with it.
But to be fair, even without a brim or anything, I still can't see your face from more than 2 feet away.
Fuck you.
So
I was
how
a joke
long-
at myself.
that's actual truth. I mean, he
Nomad
So
just said "fuck you" when I made a self-deprecating joke.
Yeah, I don't know on top of it.
How long do you think you'll be streaming, Nomad?
Probably just for another like couple minutes, not much longer.
Once we're done with stream, we can jump to like a regular voice channel, and I can show you some of the stuff I've got going on here.
It might have to wait till like tomorrow, as it is quite late for me. Fucking tech
It-
cheaper, jeez.
that was actually
What's
pretty
today?
good.
The roast of Nomad? It's not my birthday
Oh,
yet.
we need
That's
to
every
have that
day.
roast
Murph.
sometimes.
That's every day.
All right, maybe at Remurf we should have the roast of Nomad. I should hold on, let
Wait,
me
where did they
message-
roast you at?
let me
Well,
message Justin.
Nomad, you know, it's your birthday, my birthday and Justin's birthday all clustered right around the same time, right?
Yeah.
I'm the 16th.
My birthday just passed, so
I'm the 16th. I think Justin is the 18th or the 19th.
Yeah, like we're bam bam bam. It's insane.
hey, Tech Jeeper, did you ever meet the Zolon?
Oh yeah, you want to talk about tall? Holy
Yeah,
crap!
Zolon's like 6'7".
Tracy V, welcome. Yeah, we've been checking out SolidWorks today. I like it. It is certainly different than Fusion, and honestly, it's a lot smoother. I'm able to like turn off some settings and make the whole program just run way better. But yeah, this is definitely going to be this is going to become my new tool. Live streamers at KB3D had to pan the camera up to Positron to able to get Nomad myself the same shot. Yeah, it's true. It is true. Man, I wish I could go to that. No, I should be able to go. I just can't go as Positron. Darn. That is upsetting. If we do another open house again next year, me going is going to be an interesting. SolidWorks.
What I'll do
$50 a year.
is I'll go
It
as
is-
Positron. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, real quick, Tracy D. SolidWorks is only $50 a year for the maker's license, and you can get the cloud version. Don't get the cloud version. Cloud version is bad. You can, if you have Windows, you can download the local copy, and it is full SolidWorks. It is the full SolidWorks experience, no limitations. Save everything to your local hard drive. Full stop. You need an internet connection, but it works perfectly fine. It's great. Which is why I really like this, because Fusion tries to force the cloud everything down your throat. It just tries to force it down your throat. It's not good. The maker's license is the maker's license for Fusion is free, but you're limited to only 10 editable files. Everything has to be cloud, and you're limited in how you can export your files. So you don't get the full experience. Then
Yeah,
with
3D Experience SolidWorks has cam in it too, by the way.
Yeah, which is awesome.
That's a big reason why I hear a lot of people say that they stick with Fusion. It's because Fusion has cam, but it looks like SolidWorks has put a version of their cam in now, which I want to dig into. But yeah.
Yeah, it is Windows only for the local copy version. I hope they expand that. I don't know if they will, but yeah, when comparing this to Fusion, I'm enjoying this a lot better. It definitely seems to be way more optimized in general. We loaded up the Positron CAD, and while we loaded it in like the worst way possible, so it absolutely was slow as hell, it still worked great. And Fusion, if you want to be able to do, like, if you want to unlock Fusion, it's like $500 a year. So this is immediately cheaper. The only way you can get Fusion full version for $50 a year is if you register for a startup license, and then you are limited. That you only get it for $50 a year for 3 years, and then you have to pay full price. And we're not talking full hobby price. We're talking a lot of money, like thousands, which Positron right now, just for the sake of getting cheap CAD licenses, we are paying for a startup license because that is cheap, and we can get it to some of our team members who haven't paid for the full license because can't afford it. So
or we use SolidWorks.
Yeah. So we're currently evaluating SolidWorks because hey, if I'd be happy to pay $50 a year per person indefinitely, and then we all just get to work on the same thing. That'd be great. I would never have to worry about something suddenly costing $3,000. It'd be perfect.
So we've got Gulsiper. He's got the certification he has is called a CSWE. It's like they call those guys Jedis of SolidWorks. You know who else has a CSWE? Madeline.
I was gonna say, Maddie. Yeah.
And then I've got a CSWP, and like I work in it practically every day, like actually doing it for my day job.
Yeah.
The
And-
CSWP is like the second out of 3. Like I would be able to take that test to get the E certification if I wanted to, but
And for those who don't know Zach here, Zach is one of our core members of the Positron team. He's kind of our CAD guru, and he hasn't really been able to help all too much because he uses SolidWorks and we use Fusion. I want to be able to use the programs he uses.
The main program, the main thing I'm working on is not currently getting a lot of development right now anyway, so
yeah,
there's also that.
So all right, well, ladies and gentlemen, it is about midnight here. Our stream started a bit late today than normal. Is what it is. On Friday, we will be going back to the Alpha Positron. I have a new motherboard coming in tomorrow from KB3D, so we will be getting that. Remember, if you want to help support the stream, in the description of the YouTube channel, you will find that we have links to our affiliate codes where you can go, and if you have to shop at those stores anyway, please do so and use our affiliate codes. Those help us significantly. And we have an announcement to make on Friday, which is a pretty big announcement. Some changes will occur. So, hey, if you are watching on Twitch and or YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to be following. And we will have some important announcements to make on Friday. So stick around. Things are going to be fun. And I'm very excited for what's to come. Because at least for me, there's big changes. I'm having a massive career change, if you haven't heard. And I'm going to make that public, what's happening, where I'm going on Friday. But it is huge. And I'm very much excited and very much looking forward to that. So it's going to be awesome. So, yeah, come back on Friday. We're going to have fun, and we're going to keep working on Positron stuff. And, yeah. Anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. Remember, try new things. Don't be afraid to, break out of the mold and explore. Trying new programs like SolidWorks is scary. There's a lot of things that is not going to be intuitive. If you hop in and only give this 5 minutes of your time, you're never going to figure it out. You have to sit down and actually try to do like a multi-part assembly kind of thing. Like what we did here. We made a simple shape, but it is complex enough to understand the more nuanced parts of a program. In life, you will face many things where, yeah, you can just dip your toes in and be like, no, I don't like how cold the water is. But until you jump in and you just sit in there for a little bit, yeah, the pool's always going to be cold. But what's better than getting a nice cold drink on a nice hot day and jumping right into a pool? You have to jump in to really start to enjoy it and to really get a better idea of, is this for me? Maybe. I don't like to swim. Oh, I can't swim. Oh, God. Okay. Figure all that later. Don't worry. As long as you don't jump in front of a train,
Nomad
you'll live.
drowning in the shallow end.
Ah!
That was a pretty
Anyway.
deep metaphor.
Try new things. Don't be afraid to be exploratory and have fun. And as I always say, and how apparently I've stolen this from multiple content creators, but I do not care anymore. If you believe in something, don't just, support it. If you can, find some time to volunteer for a cause you believe in. Hug people more, hug yourself more, etc., etc. Pretty sure I stole that from Joel, whatever.